Sunlight streamed through the panoramic windows of my office, illuminating the opulent space that served as my kingdom. The cityscape sprawled before me, a concrete jungle mirroring the one I had meticulously built within the walls of my corporation. A place I had worked hard for, the future I had always envisioned for myself was all mine, and it was better than what I had hoped for. From this vantage point, everything seemed perfect. The plush carpet beneath my feet, the gleaming glass and chrome furniture, and the carefully curated art collection adorning the walls. All testaments to my success. Yet, a hollowness gnawed at me, a persistent emptiness that no amount of material wealth could ever fill. I felt like everything I thought would make me the happiest turned out to fill a little of the empty space inside me. My marriage to Richard was a carefully constructed facade, a strategic alliance forged for the sake of appearances. He was the heir to a media empire, his name synonymous with power and prestige. I, the ambitious young woman with a burning desire to climb the corporate ladder, saw in him the key to unlocking doors that would otherwise remain stubbornly closed. Love had never been part of the equation. Affection, perhaps, and shared respect for each other's ambitions, but the spark of genuine connection had been absent. From the very beginning, we moved through life as well-rehearsed actors, playing our roles flawlessly. For the benefit of the world. We were with each other for the status and power it gave, and there was no denying it. We never tried for children because none of us wanted to be parents. Dinner parties were a tedious chore, social gatherings an exercise in forced pleasantries. In the privacy of our expansive home, an uncomfortable silence hung heavy in the air, punctuated only by the clinking of silverware and the hollow echo of our footsteps on the marble floors. We had different wings of the house to ourselves. We lived like strangers. My life had become monotonous and boring. I went through the same motions every day, and it was tiring. The arrival of Alex, the new marketing director, disrupted the monotony of my carefully constructed world. Young, vibrant, with an infectious energy that seemed to crackle around him, he was a stark contrast to the staid, predictable existence I had built for myself. Our first meeting was unremarkable. A routine introduction during a team briefing. Yet, as our eyes met across the conference table, a jolt of something unexpected shot through me. It was a flicker, a spark of awareness that sent a shiver down my spine. He was younger, yes, but there was a depth in his gaze and intelligence that belied his years. He listened intently as I spoke, his brow furrowed in genuine interest, starkly contrasting the glazed expressions I often encountered during board meetings. He was actually listening to me. Initially, I dismissed the feeling as a mere anomaly, a momentary blip in the carefully controlled world I had constructed. But as our paths crossed more frequently, the attraction simmered beneath the surface, a forbidden current pulling me towards him. The attraction between us was mutual, and it simmered between us like a live wire. I tried to ignore it, telling myself that he was younger than me. But all my efforts and self-denial failed. I liked whatever was happening between us, and in fact, I wanted more of it. He started leaving notes on my desk, witty observations disguised as work-related messages. I found myself lingering during our brief interactions, savoring the way his eyes held mine a beat too long. The subtle brush of his hand against mine as he handed me a file. The secret smiles we shared, the longing gaze. The guilt gnawed at me, a constant reminder of the vows I had taken, the life I had built on a foundation of convenience rather than love. Yet, the pull towards Alex was undeniable, a siren song promising something I hadn't felt in years. The thrill of genuine connection, the possibility of something real blossoming amidst the carefully constructed facade of my life. The late-night work sessions became a regular occurrence, a thinly veiled excuse for stolen moments of intimacy amidst the stacks of paperwork and the hum of the deserted office. Alex would linger after everyone else had left. The silence broken only by the soft click-clack of the keyboard and the occasional murmur discussion. One such night, the tension simmering beneath the surface finally boiled over. We were reviewing a presentation for an upcoming client, the air thick with the unspoken desires that had been building for weeks. I was panicking and Alex reassured me that my prepared presentation was stellar and flawless. He told me I had nothing to worry about because the contract was as well as already signed. His hand brushed mine as he pointed to a statistic on the screen, the contact sending a jolt through me. I looked up to find his gaze locked on mine, his eyes blazing with an intensity that mirrored the fire burning within me. He leaned in, his breath warm against my cheek, and whispered, "I can't do this anymore, Evelyn." My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat against the silence. My mind screamed with warnings, the echo of my vows, the potential consequences. Yet the pull towards him was stronger, a force I couldn't resist. "Neither can I breathed, the words tumbling out before I could stop them. His lips met mine, the kiss a collision of pent-up desires. It was a hungry, desperate exploration, a desperate attempt to erase the years of emptiness that had preceded this moment. We stumbled back, the weight of our actions pressing down on us. But amidst the guilt and the fear, there was a spark, a raw primal connection that had been missing from my life for far too long. His hands traced the curve of my back, sending shivers down my spine. We retreated to the plush couch in my office, the leather cool against our heated skin. His touch was a whirlwind, a map of exploration that ignited every nerve ending in my body. He whispered my name, a hoarse murmur against my skin, his voice a stark contrast to the silence that had become the soundtrack of my marriage. At that moment, the opulent office, the symbol of my carefully constructed life, faded away. All that existed was the warmth of his touch, the frantic rhythm of our breaths, and the intoxicating feeling of being truly desired. We didn't need to go all the way, the unspoken understanding hung heavy in the air. A shared acknowledgement of the precariousness of our situation. This wasn't just a fling, a fleeting moment of passion. This was a connection, a forbidden haven amidst the gilded cage of my life. The attraction between us was alive, and there was no denying its heat with the way it constantly drew us together. As the night wore on and the first rays of dawn peeked through the blinds, we lay tangled together, the aftershocks of our encounter still reverberating through our bodies. Guilt gnawed at the edges of my conscience, a constant reminder of the line I had crossed. But as I looked into Alex's eyes, the warmth and understanding reflected there, I knew this wasn't just about stolen moments and fleeting pleasure. It was about a connection, a shared spark that had ignited a fire within me, a fire that refused to be extinguished. As the days turned into weeks, the stolen moments became a carefully woven tapestry in the fabric of my life. Late-night work sessions morphed into stolen lunches, business trips became opportunities for clandestine rendezvous in hidden hotel rooms, the thrill of the forbidden fueled our connection, the shared secret of a foundation for a bond that transcended the physical. Alex became my confidant, the one person I could truly be myself with. He listened without judgment, his eyes reflecting a genuine interest in the woman beneath the CEO facade. He challenged me, pushed me to see beyond the carefully constructed walls of my life, to rediscover the dreams I had buried beneath the weight of ambition and societal expectations. He reassured me that I still had what it took, and as the door that had blocked my creative flow fell apart, I found that he was right. I was creating and drafting exciting projects again. My life felt brighter. The guilt never fully dissipated, a constant shadow cast by the vows I had spoken. But with each stolen glance, each whispered conversation, the connection with Alex grew stronger. A beacon of warmth in the cold emptiness of my marriage. One evening, during a particularly grueling board meeting, a subtle shift in Richard's demeanor caught my eye. He seemed distracted, his gaze lingering a beat too long on a young intern across the table. A flicker of something akin to jealousy sparked within me, a twisted justification for my own actions. It wasn't the first time I had noticed such behavior. Richard, like me, had mastered the art of maintaining appearances. But the realization that he too might be seeking solace outside the confines of our loveless marriage offered a cold comfort, a shared hypocrisy that did little to alleviate the weight of my own betrayal. Despite the ever-present risk of discovery, the thought of severing the connection with Alex was unthinkable. The emotional fulfillment, the sense of being truly seen and desired, was a drug I couldn't easily relinquish. I was a willing addict to the feeling that being with Alex brought me. So, we continued our clandestine dance, weaving a secret life amidst the tapestry of our public personas, the board meetings, the charity gallows, the carefully orchestrated social gatherings. They all became a facade, a stage where we played our assigned roles flawlessly. But beneath the surface, a different story unfolded, a story of stolen moments, whispered promises, and a forbidden love that burned bright, a secret flame flickering in the darkness forever hidden from the world. Our secret life became a meticulously choreographed dance, a constant balancing act between the carefully constructed facade of my marriage and the exhilarating reality of my affair with Alex. Company events became opportunities for stolen glances and discreet touches, and business trips transformed into stolen weekends and hidden corners of the world. The thrill of the forbidden fueled our connection, the shared secret of a potent bond that transcended the physical. We were conspirators and a silent rebellion against the loveless marriage that had become my reality. Alex became my confidant, the one person I could truly be myself with. He saw through the polished CEO's exterior, recognizing the woman beneath the carefully constructed mask. He challenged me and pushed me to rediscover the dreams I had buried beneath the weight of ambition and societal expectations. The guilt never fully dissipated, a constant shadow cast by the vows I had spoken. But with each stolen moment, each whispered conversation, the connection with Alex grew stronger, a beacon of warmth in the cold emptiness of my marriage. One evening, during a particularly grueling board meeting, a subtle shift in Richard's demeanor caught my eye. He seemed distracted, his gaze lingering a beat too long on a young intern across the table. A flicker of something akin to jealousy sparked within me, a twisted justification for my own actions. It wasn't the first time I had noticed such behavior. Richard, like me, had mastered the art of maintaining appearances. But the realization that he too might be seeking solace outside the confines of our loveless marriage offered a cold comfort, a shared hypocrisy that did little to alleviate the weight of my own betrayal. Despite the ever-present risk of discovery, the thought of severing the connection with Alex was unthinkable. The emotional fulfillment, the sense of being truly seen and desired, was a drug I couldn't easily relinquish. So we continued our clandestine dance, weaving a secret life amidst the tapestry of our public personas. The board meetings, the charity gallows, the carefully orchestrated social gatherings, they all became a facade, a stage where we played our assigned roles flawlessly. But beneath the surface, a different story unfolded, a story of stolen moments, whispered promises, and a forbidden love that burned bright, a secret flame flickering in the darkness, forever hidden from the world. One weekend while Richard was away on a business trip, Alex surprised me with a weekend getaway to a secluded cabin nestled amidst the mountains. The isolation, the absence of the prying eyes that followed my every move in the city, was intoxicating. We spent our days exploring the surrounding wilderness, the crisp mountain air washing away the anxieties that clung to us in the city. At night, curled up by the crackling fireplace, we shared stories, dreams, and vulnerabilities we had never dared to voice before. In that haven of solitude away from the judgmental gaze of society, The weight of our secret seemed to lessen. We were simply Evelyn and Alex, two souls drawn together by a force neither of us could fully explain. As the weekend drew to a close, a bittersweet pang of reality settled in, returning to the city, to the carefully constructed world we both inhabited felt like stepping back into a carefully crafted play. But the memory of that stolen weekend, the raw honesty we shared, remained a beacon of warmth. A reminder that even in the midst of deceit, a flicker of genuine connection could exist. The years that followed were a constant tightrope walk between the two worlds I inhabited. The guilt never fully vanished, a constant reminder of the vows I had broken. Yet, the connection with Alex provided a solace that Richard's presence could never offer. We navigated the complexities of our secret life with practiced ease, the shared knowledge of our forbidden love and invisible thread binding us together. We learned to read each other's unspoken desires, to find solace in stolen glances and knowing smiles across crowded rooms. Our affair wasn't a fairy tale, a grand escape from the reality of my marriage. It was a secret life, a carefully guarded oasis in the arid landscape of my existence. But in that hidden world, amidst the stolen moments and whispered promises, I found a piece of myself I thought I had lost forever. And as I stood on the precipice of another year, another carefully orchestrated social gathering, a flicker of a smile played on my lips. The secret life I led, the forbidden love I nurtured, was a burden, yes, but also a testament to the enduring power of human connection. A spark of genuine emotion that refused to die because I kept it alive, even in the darkest corners of a carefully constructed life. This was my confession of infidelity with the young man. You have heard something like this before. I would like to know if you have ever committed this kind of infidelity and how you felt. It will give me advice on how to deal with my future. Thank you for listening to me, and I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you very much.